somehow right. That's all time. That's all time.
Derek Jeter is top 3 shortstop.
Good morning, afternoon. This is Tanks and Tutties presented by Tubbs and Franke. We are back after a long vacation.
3 weeks?
We mentioned, I think 2 weeks. Yep. We mentioned before Christmas, New Year's Eve didn't work out. Neither of us even really tried. I don't even think we sent a text. It was just understood we're not doing shit. Yeah. We did link up on New Year's Eve as well as New Year's Day. That was good to see you. Had a couple drinks, played some Keno, didn't win shit. Played some pull tabs, also didn't win shit. And then New Year's Day, had breakfast. It's not often that I go somewhere and don't finish my food, but I didn't finish my food. I wasn't even really like hungover. I was just tired, man. We stayed up late, but it was good to see you guys.
Nice nap.
But we are back for more. We're going to start with the dynasty update. It's been a long time. We did remember that Franke beat me in the Big Ten championship. We don't remember the score, but I don't think it was very close.
No,
I think it was till like the second. I think it was tied at halftime. I got a late tud, or you got a late. No, you got a late tud on some bullshit. That catch out of bounds that they reversed, and then you ended up scoring that drive to tie it. And then second half, I just couldn't do shit on offense. But what a season for Purdue! Still made the playoff. Got waxed first round. You did go on to win it all. I didn't even know that you played your championship. You never even texted anything, I don't think.
Yeah, I did. You watched it. You commentated it.
That's right. Oh, my God, dude. That just shows you how long it's been. Yep. So yeah. Franke did stream it to me, my brother, and, of course, Papa Tubbs. We were commentating it because I believe you played my father in the semi or no?
I think it was either the semi or the quarterfinals.
And that was a waxing. That's right. We convinced you to stay on and play the last one. Yeah, that was a back and forth.
That would have been a great game to record.
Yep, that would have been hilarious, especially with the commentary. I was having some drinks and it was fun. It was a good time. But sorry, I totally just stole that. Do you want to say anything about the season you just had?
I mean, natty champs. Hard to say anything else about that. We beat Bama. Probably was a little closer than it should have been. Made some risky calls. But yeah, I mean, I've got a great recruiting class coming in. I think I want to say it's top 10. If not top 10, I think it might be top 20. I'm turning Iowa around. I mean, might not have to throw the ball still, but we're doing okay. I'm excited for next year. I'm not leaving this school. So looking to keep Iowa at the top of the Big Ten for a while.
My brother actually finally got an Xbox, so I believe that he might be getting added before the next season. So that'll be an interesting little tidbit to add in each week. Papa Tubbs did return to work after his long hiatus due to back surgery. So updates might be thin, especially I'm starting a new job. You're starting a new job. We all have lives, so we'll see what we can do. But the updates might just be, hey, we didn't play. So but let's get right into this after I finish sending this text, actually. No, I'll wait. I'll send it after. Locks and Longshots, we are going to reset. We're going to add last year's to our all-time numbers. I am net positive, which is good on the locks. The long shots, not so much. But our all-time numbers, we'll read those next week when we do the math. But for last year, I went 58, 39, and 1. Finished strong 4-0 2 weeks ago with my college football playoff picks, as well as I had one NFL. So I had the under in Indiana Notre Dame that was sharp. I had under 51. They finished at 44. Penn State minus 8.5 versus SMU, blew them out, won by 28. And then Tennessee, Ohio State, the over 46.5. Ohio State almost did it themselves. Tennessee put up just enough. And then Lions Bears over 48 hit as well with the 34-17 win right there. So this week, I figured we've missed out on 2 weeks. We got brand new year starting. I'm going to go ahead and go crazy. We got college football playoff Thursday and Friday, and then this weekend we got the wild card matchups. So I'm just going to run right through it. No real big research here, just kind of a feel thing. So we'll see how it goes. That's when I hit the best, is the feels. So we have Penn State plus 1.5 versus Notre Dame. I am not convinced that Riley Leonard can beat Penn State, and Penn State looks good right now. Also want to set up the Penn State-Ohio State national championship. That's minus 112. Texas plus 6 versus OSU minus 110. This is strictly a hate pick. I hate Ohio State. They look great right now. But I think Ohio State, Penn State in the championship would be fun. I do think Ohio State wins it, though, so I'm hoping Texas can get the upset here. I also have a future on Texas, so big Texas fan. Then over 53.5 as well in the Ohio State-Texas game. I think that's going to be points. Ohio State can score on anybody. It might be a bad pick, honestly. Texas has one of the top defenses in the nation. Ohio State, very good on defense. Texas's offense has looked shaky, to say the least, but I think special teams can sneak away a few points. And then heading over to NFL, over 45.5, Packers versus Eagles. Frankie mentioned, I think this is a bad pick. Don't take this one. If you're going to not take one of my 6, don't take this one. But the Eagles offense can score points. We don't even know if Jalen Hurts is going to play yet, but just take the over. It's fun. And then Vikings -1.5 at the Rams. I know you're going to look at that and say, your team just beat the fuck out of the Vikings. What makes you think they're going to beat the Rams? The Rams defense is really bad, like almost as bad as the Lions while banged up. They're also not getting back a key piece like Anzalone was for us. So I think the Vikings can win this game at least by a field goal. Broncos-Bills over 46.5. This is the fun over. I'm a big Bo Nix guy. Also huge Josh Allen guy, notably. Bills defense not very good. Broncos defense pretty good. However, Bills offense very good. So I think we get a nice little shootout right here. Give me like 55, 56 points. Heading into the long shots, I did mark Terrion Arnold over 2.5 as an L. That was only regular season. We'll remove that next week. He didn't even get one. Very good coverage, figured it out throughout the year, but didn't even get one. Had a couple chances. And then Brian Branch, Defensive Player of the Year, technically still open. I'm going to leave it for now. But last time we were here, I had Jets money line versus the Rams. They lost. That was that nasty weather game. And then I had the Cats parlay, Lions, Bengals, Jags. Lions and Bengals both won. The Jags lost to the Raiders. I don't know what I was thinking, putting the Jags in a parlay. Funny to look back on now. Long shots. I'm going down to one long shot a week. I hate that number. I think I can at least go 50-50 on long shots if I play it safe. So we're starting it safe this week. Ravens over the Steelers, Bills over the Broncos, Eagles over the Packers, all money lines. It's too chalky. It's going to lose. One of those teams will lose. I think if any team, probably the Ravens, just because it's a division matchup, and the Steelers kind of have the Ravens number at times, even though the Ravens did look good against the Steelers last time they played. But then next up would be Packers over the Eagles. But I needed something. I threw it in there. We'll ride it. So you go ahead with yours while I finish this shit talk chat here.
First off, I was going to say we have to find a time, one of these episodes, to go back and look at our NFL preseason stuff. I know Dennis, with his hot take about Derrick Henry, was pretty unreal with that one. But I kind of want to see where we were at with like division winners and stuff like that, see kind of where we stood up. And I was trying to find it, but I don't remember what episode that was. So I'll have to look back, maybe find it for next week or something.
We can do that for next week, yep.
Anyways, so locks 62, 47, and 1. Finally got the Packers to make the playoffs, -155 this week. I did not have any actual money on it. Kind of wish I did. That was easy. Last week, or last episode, I should say, had Clemson +12. They lost 38-24 to Texas. Had Tennessee +7. They got absolutely whomped. And then the Vikings -3.5 against the Seahawks. They won by 3. So 0-3 last episode. Pretty tough way to end the year, I guess. This week we are going Chargers Texans under 42.5. I think the Chargers defense is too good for the Texans to put up points, especially with the limited receiver options that they have. And I also don't think the Chargers are that high-flying offense type of team. I think they can be, but I don't think that Jim Harbaugh will be come the playoffs. So we'll take the under 42.5 there. That is also a Saturday afternoon game, so that makes me love the under even more. Then I'm taking Steelers +10 against the Ravens. Jake hates this pick. I also hate this pick, but Steelers-Ravens is always a close rivalry game. I think both games this season were very close in the regular season. Ravens are notoriously known for not living up to their standards when it comes to the playoffs, and I love the Ravens this year. I think that they could make a really deep run. I think that every year, which means they're probably going to disappoint me again, and I feel like the Steelers can easily cover 10. Even if this is a one-score game, if this is a 7-point game, we still get a win there. Take the key numbers, main point there. And then I'm going to take the Packers-Eagles under 45.5. Packers don't have Christian Watson. He tore his ACL this week. Tough. We don't have a deep threat. Jaden Reed has not been involved. We're probably just going to run 24/7. Eagles defense is good. Packers defense, it depends on the week, so I don't really know. It's either one side scores a ton or neither team score, and that's making me lean to the under. So long shots, glad we're resetting the records this week or next week. Still open Penn State to reach the college football playoff final. All we need is a win this week. I should have probably put money on it. Now is probably the time to actually bet on them to win the whole damn thing. Did lose Oregon to win the national championship. Obviously, they got whomped as well by Ohio State. Last episode, I had Tennessee moneyline, another whomping, and the Texans moneyline versus the Chiefs. That was an L. Should have known better. It's the Chiefs. This week, I'm going to come back to that first one in a second. This week, I'm going Penn State and OSU moneyline parlay plus 181. I would love to see a Big Ten national championship. I think that would be fun. OSU's been whomping everybody, so throw in Penn State, who is a 1-point dog, I think, maybe 1.5 at this point. Kind of give me some juice there on Ohio State and hope for a fun Big Ten final. Then I'm going to take a future on the Chiefs. I hate it, but you have to do what you have to do to make money. It's
understandable. It's
the fact that they're 15-2 at this point and just got to rest all their starters. So
yeah,
they're not the favorite. It's a great time to place a bet and hope you can hedge later. So we'll do that. And then a fun bet for me, the Bay Golf Club money line tonight, plus 100. They're going up against New York Golf Club. For those of you who do not know, the TGL, otherwise known as Tomorrow's Golf League, is starting tonight on ESPN. They do 9 holes of 3v3 before they split off and do 6 holes of singles matchups. It's basically into a simulator screen, and then they have a super technologically enhanced green that changes shapes and can spin in 360 degrees to give them different greens every time. It looks super dope. The Bay Golf Club, I actually have the tab up of who their lineup is. The Bay Golf Club tonight is Wyndham Clark, Shane Lowry, and Ludwig Oberg, going up against Matt Fitzpatrick, Ricky Fowler, and Xander Schauffele. Just a fun one. It's plus 100. That's all. I'll probably honestly be watching this. I think my team's going to be the LA Golf Club because it is Max Homa's club, and the Antetokounmpos are backing it. So, and then the last long shot for the week is Packers money line plus 190 against the Eagles. As you can see, Jake and I are both wearing black this week. May or may not be symbolic of what I actually think may happen this week.
I got a little bit of white for a little glimmer of hope. You know,
it's like your faux tuxedo. Yeah.
So
we can get into that later, but
I actually
team, I guess.
I was able to find our preseason preview. Do you want to go through it quick?
Yeah, might as well.
So we didn't predict division winners. Maybe we did, but didn't write it down. So we can listen back to that episode if we want. But we did do Defense Player of the Year, Offense Player of the Year, MVP. We also did Rookie of the Year. And then we did Super Bowl picks and matchup prediction. And we do have a pretty funny.
Bring up the odds for defensive and offensive player of the year.
While you're doing that, I'll go through. This is the episode we had Javi and Papa Tubbs on. Mm-hmm. So we'll start with the Papa Tubbs portion. We'll have to listen back to his Lions prediction. I know there was some technical difficulties on that one, but we'll do that for next week. However, we did write down his NFC North standings. They're kind of funny. So in last place, he had Minnesota at 5-12. Second to last, he had Chicago 7-10. Second place, he did have Green Bay at 10-7. So good on him.
Pretty good.
And then he had Detroit at 12-5. So he did get the winner correct. We have his Super Bowl pick up above. I don't know if you'll be able to find those odds, by the way. I think they closed.
I don't think they have them.
We have their preseason odds written down, though, at least. But
Okay.
I think we have a pretty good idea, except for I don't know about Defensive Player of the Year, but I know where we're at for MVP and shit.
Yeah.
So Javi's Defensive Player of the Year, we'll just go through all of them. Defensive Player of the Year, Javi said TJ Watt. I got to assume he's up there. That was at plus 550. Myself, I took Nick Bosa. Is he up there?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like Pat Surtain, Myles Garrett, TJ Watt.
Yep.
Probably Bosa.
So for myself, I had Nick Bosa. I don't think he's up there. He missed some games.
Yeah.
You had Will Anderson Jr. at plus 3,000. I doubt he's up there. He missed games as well. And then my father had Parsons plus 550, missed games. Offensive Player of the Year, Javi had Jamar Chase. That was a good pick. Unfortunately, somebody else had a pretty historic season. I had Amon-Ra. Didn't do enough. You had Chase as well. And then my father had Tyreek Hill. That's a bad pick. MVP, this is where it's interesting. Javi had CJ Stroud at plus 850. You had Burrow at plus 900. My father took Amon-Ra St. Brown at plus 25,000. He's definitely our team's MVP. Well, no, he's not. Goff is, but myself, though, I took Lamar plus 1,800. So he's definitely in the conversation. I feel like it's a two-headed race. It's Lamar and Josh Allen. I think Josh Allen's probably the favorite.
But Burrow's definitely third on that, though.
It's Burrow probably deserves it, to be honest with you, because without him, that team is 3-14. So, so that's our defense player of the year, offense player, and MVP. So then rookie of the year, this is where it's pretty fucking funny to me. Javi, Caleb Williams, the favorite at plus 135. Definitely not in the conversation anymore. You had Marvin Harrison plus 650. And my father took Xavier Worthy plus 2,200. And then your boy right here, Jaden Daniels plus 500. I was locked in on the quarterbacks. Let me tell you, I know my quarterbacks. He's got to be the runaway favorite, right? Or
I don't know if it's him
Bowers
or if
up there now.
It Bowers, Brian Thomas Jr.
Yeah.
Yep. Probably not Joel.
We'll have to revisit. I'm going to write down. One sec. I'm going to write down. Let's see. McConkey definitely not. Let me write this down. NFL preview, episode 110. Okay. I'm going to go back and listen, or you can. I don't know. We'll see. So then our Super Bowl pick. Apparently we predicted number 1 overall pick as well, but didn't write it down, so I have to listen for that. Javi's Super Bowl was Lions-Texans, still out there. Lions win. I went conservative, obviously. I said Ravens-Niners. Niners win, so I'm dead. And then you had Ravens-Packers. Packers win. I believe you went off of colors.
I did, and then they fucking changed the logo color.
Yep. And then my father, probably the best shot, I would say, is Ravens-Lions. Lions win. And then we have a very funny Javi hot take that was written down. Nebraska 9-3. I believe they went 6-6. Yeah. So probably should have thrown that out there. We'll go back and listen. Let's see. Sorry, I'm reading. We'll have to listen, see if we talked about those other things or if we just skipped them, because it looks like we talked about a lot. So it might have been a long episode.
We did. It was a long episode.
We'll go back and look. So that is your preview of end of year, or that's your end of year preview recap. So let's get into. It's only been 18 and a half minutes. We're doing great.
We're fine.
Why has it felt so long? Probably because my day's been long. But college football playoff recap. The easy recap here is I'm a fan of the 12-team playoff. However, some teams didn't belong in the 12-team playoff. But if you look at other teams out there, would they have done much better? Probably not. Let's start round 1. Round 1 was pretty boring, if you ask me. We had, let's see if I can, where's the other game?
I've got it. Texas, Clemson.
So we had, I'm going in order. Friday, we had Notre Dame, Indiana. This game was a snooze. It was the closest game, I believe. And Notre Dame ended up winning 27-17. The on-campus was cool. I was a fan of the on-campus. Indiana didn't belong. They punted down like 14 when they were at the 40 or something. It was just, I fell asleep during that game. And then we had, I don't remember the order, so I'm just going to go. Texas Clemson was probably the best game. It was tight until the last 5 minutes, and Texas kind of ran away with it. And then Penn State, SMU, Penn State blew them out, was never close, didn't even watch a lick of it. And then Tennessee, Ohio State was the biggest letdown of all. It was the last game Saturday night. It was supposed to be the good game. I had actually correctly picked the spread in the first 3 games. I did a parlay. And then Tennessee, I thought about hedging. I didn't. I should have, because Tennessee did not cover. What were they getting? 10?
I'm looking right now. It was 7.5.
I think.
I think you had bumped it.
I did. That's right. I bumped it. I bumped them all up because it should have been way higher if I took straight spreads. And it was the teams I chose. I bumped their spreads like 4 or 5 points, and they all ended up covering their actual spreads. But was it? What was the reason I was so mad about that? I think it was. Oh no, this was round 2. So that was round 1. Tennessee was a bummer. I thought they could have competed, but Ohio State, they really came out looking the best they had all season. There wasn't much Tennessee could do, in my opinion. It was like there was some sort of revelation amongst Ohio State of, holy shit, we have really good receivers. Let's just throw to them. You know, it was Michigan really woke them up, in my opinion. And that's not even me being some sort of, asshole. Like, legit, I think they went back. They said, we're lucky we're still in. And they said, what did we do wrong? And it was, we focused too much on the run game, and our offensive line isn't very good. Let's just fucking sling it. And
it also come from the Tennessee side. It also didn't help that Dylan Sampson got injured very early. So he only ended with 2 carries and 1 reception and was out for most of the game. And he was a huge part. The other part that really fucking sucked to watch this game is Nico got 20 carries. I don't know why we decided to turn Nico into Joe Milton, but we did, and it obviously did not work. I mean, they were running the ball with Nico down 14 points, and like at that point, you might as well just fucking throw the backups in and let them air it out because you got nothing else to do here. But I will say Tennessee is taking a beating in the transfer portal right now. Half their fucking team is transferring. Maybe a bad year next year. So we'll see.
So then round 2, this was the bye week. Teams came in. First game, Penn State, Boise State on New Year's Eve. This game was weird. I was very excited to watch. I watched as much as I could. It was New Year's Eve. I went bowling and did the whole thing. Boise State outgained Penn State offensively. They also turned the ball over, didn't capitalize, and Penn State, I believe, they had some short fields. Genty had about as good as a game you could have against a team that actually can stack the box and get you, because it's Penn State. Their defense is good. If you watched the game, it was 7 8-man boxes. Like they were plenty fine to give up a pass or two, and Boise State couldn't capitalize.
Yep.
So that one was a snoozer.
4 turnovers for Boise State.
4, that's right. Prior to this game, though, however, go ahead.
I was just going to ask you a quick question about how this game made you feel about Genty in the NFL.
He's going to do great because look what he did against these stacked boxes. Imagine when he gets in an offense that also has a threat to pass the ball with some weapons.
I thought the same thing too. And a lot of people were like, oh, Genty couldn't perform against big teams or whatever. But I don't think it was on him. Like, yes, it was 30 carries for 104 yards. But if you watched some of his carries, there was one that I cannot get out of my head for some reason. He ran it up the middle and just plowed through like 4 different guys, literally dragging guys. And granted, it was only like an 8 to 10 yard carry, but he just would not go down and was dragging dudes. Yep. And that's where I'm like, that guy's going to be a stud.
Yep.
So,
before this game, I skipped over it. Michigan played Alabama at noon that day. I was very excited for this game. This will be quick because it's not the playoff and we need to focus on the playoff, but Michigan somehow won this game. It was a nasty game. It was bad weather to start. Jalen Milroe probably killed his draft stock playing this game.
3 turnovers in 10 plays.
3 turnovers in 10 plays. Michigan got the ball within the 15-yard line 3 times back to back to back, and they scored 1 touchdown, 2 field goals. Those were all their points. No, never mind. They got more field goals later on. Davis Warren didn't look bad, but he tore his ACL, so he went out, and then Orgy had to play the game, and he's atrocious. But this got me excited for next year because he got injured, and I saw the injury. It didn't look that bad, and then after the game, he's like, "Yeah, I tore my ACL." So, he's gonna get another year somehow. He'll ride the bench and he's gonna be the guy in 15 years where you're drinking with your boys and you say Davis Warren, and they all go, "Oh, dude!" Yeah, that's gonna be a name I'm gonna pull. It's just like John O'Corn, that's a wild name too, or Shea Patterson. That's another name. Anyways, I digress. This got me excited for next year because the defense didn't have, I think it was 3 starters from the regular season, and we still shut down Bama, who had most of their offense out there. I think they were missing a lineman, but our future running back, Justice Haynes, was out there getting shut down. So I'm like, hopefully that's not a bad sign, but he's transferring to Michigan. But yeah, it was a fun game. I watched it all. It was honestly the end of the season was great, man. You beat Ohio State, upset, you look good, and then you go out, you beat Alabama. You didn't look good, but you beat them, so you win dirty games. So back to the playoff now. New Year's Day, the best game of the playoff thus far, Texas, Arizona State. This game was awesome. Went to overtime. Texas was in control to start. First half, they were up 17-3 at halftime, and then Arizona State just came out dogging them. They were doing everything. Scatabo, I told you I hate the fucking guy. I think he's a douchebag, and I didn't really realize it until I watched this game. And let me tell you why. He performs for the camera only. Crazy talent, awesome to watch on the field. Not going to shit on his talent. He's a great player. He's not better than Genty. I will say that. I hate that he does that. But he's on the sideline after his touchdown. He's crouched down. He literally went, put on a do-rag because he knew they were going to put the camera on him. He's saying something, shaking his head. There was one play, Texas ripped his helmet off. He stands there, mean mugging. Dude, come on. And then the one that really, really pissed me off was after the game I saw on Twitter. They lose. Texas ended up winning in overtime with some crazy, we'll get to it, but he's walking out with Dillingham, the coach. He looks at the camera, sees it, looks right, looks left, finds his coach, puts his arm around him, starts talking to him. Dude, you're doing all this for the camera. You wouldn't have done that if there was no camera there. I know it. So that shit pissed me off. I don't like him. I think he could be good in the NFL. He'll be a good Montgomery type, in my opinion.
Bruiser.
But yeah, was it,
A bruiser for sure.
Oh, for sure. Was it the first overtime when Texas converted on 4th and something, or was that at the end of regulation?
I'm checking right now. I think it was. No, I think that was the end of the first overtime. Play by play.
Touchdown. Yeah, 4th and 13 at Arizona's 28. Down 7. They had to score. And they rip a 28-yard touchdown. Beautiful throw. Somehow got left wide open. Arizona State brought the blitz, which is what you do in that situation. And Ewers threw an absolute dot over the top. And then in double overtime, Texas scored and Arizona State got stopped. But that was the best game. Unfortunately, I was so sleep deprived that I slept through most of it, but I caught the second half of the fourth quarter and overtimes, which is really what you needed to see. So I was happy with my performance there. And then the next game that day, I believe Notre Dame and Georgia were supposed to play. There was some terrorism, maybe. I don't even know if it's confirmed yet. Probably terrorism in New Orleans, so they delayed the game to the next day. But Ohio State, Oregon played. This game was supposed to be great. It wasn't. Ohio State went out there and absolutely destroyed Oregon. It got close for a second after halftime. It was 34 to 15, and Oregon got the ball back. So it's if they score, now they're only down 2 scores, and the defense had looked good, but they got stopped. Ohio State started rolling. They ended up winning 41-21. Rose Bowl, though, never gets old. Beautiful scenery. Beautiful. So now at this point, every team with a bye had lost. Right? Yeah, 'cause Oregon had a bye. Boise had a bye. Arizona State had a bye. So now January 2nd, Thursday, You got Notre Dame, who played the week before. Georgia's on a bye. Everybody's like, Georgia's going to win. Georgia's going to win. Sloppy game, tight game. Pretty good game, though. It was like 13-10 coming out of halftime. Georgia scored quick in the second half. And then Notre Dame kind of came out and did their thing. 23-10 final. So every team with a bye lost. I've got a take. I want to see what you think. The teams that earned the bye should get a home game as well.
I don't hate it, honestly. But then the issue is you lose one of the Rose Bowl, Sugar Bowl, Fiesta Bowl, Peach Bowl.
Yep. I think what you do is you do Rose Bowl, Sugar Bowl, and
probably the Peach. Or
Bowl,
wait, no,
Bowl.
You could also lose the Cotton Bowl or the Orange Bowl. It should be
shit.
Bye teams in the
16
second round get a home team.
We gotta do 16 team.
I agree.
Top 2 teams get a bye.
Isn't it expands get a next year, doesn't it?
I don't know. The other thing they need to do is I'm a fan of you win your conference, you get in. However, it shouldn't guarantee you top 4/bye winning the conference, because Boise didn't deserve a bye and Arizona State didn't deserve a bye, and we got robbed of some good football because of it. Also, Penn State should have been ranked higher. Who else? Notre Dame probably should have been ranked higher. Texas even. Georgia for sure. Or no, Georgia got theirs because they won the division or the conference. Penn State.
Everybody's gonna be like, "Oh, it's great. We didn't get like the favored teams to win." No, we did get actually all of the favored teams to win. Although it's Ohio the 5, State, 6, Texas, 7, and 8. Although it's 5, 6, 7, and 8 ranks, like it was still all the teams that were favored to win. Like I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that was my big gripe too. Is we definitely have to like I like the 12-team playoff, but the seeding has to be fixed. And I think if you go to
and they said this year would be a test
without buys, like that's not a bad idea.
I don't think the added games are a big deal. Like I don't see more injuries by any means. We'll find out these next 2 rounds, the championship and the semis. But I think, and they even said this is a test run. We'll make changes, and I think the seeding thing has to change because no shot Arizona State should have been a 4 seed with a bye. Same with Boise. I love Boise. I love Genty, but no shot they're a 3 seed. And there's a reason 5 through 8 won, because look at the 5 through 8 teams: Texas, Ohio State, Notre Dame, and Penn State. Like those are very good teams. So I guess let's do a championship prediction and winner. We can look back. I know we did that. I think I feel like we're probably pretty on, but we can go back and look next week. I'm going to say, just because I do have money on Texas, I did it a few weeks ago. I'm going to take Texas over. Give me Texas over Penn State. Yeah, I would rather have Texas play Notre Dame, but I think Penn State beats Notre Dame, so I got to take Penn State.
Yeah, I would agree that I also would like to see like a Texas Notre Dame. But I think I don't know if I necessarily trust Penn State more than Notre Dame. No, actually I do. I trust Penn State more than Notre Dame. And
Notre Dame's
Ohio
defense
State,
is legit.
Yeah, that is true. But then Ohio State, I think they're just playing too good to lose to Texas. So I will take Ohio State, Penn State, and I'll take Penn State to win it all. Fuck it. James Franklin. Like I said, Franklin is just going to go out and prove all the haters wrong and win all the big games, even though he never did.
In my heart of hearts, I do think Ohio State beats Texas. I just can't. I'll never pick them, I think. I'd fucking hate them. But I do have the ultimate trap card of if Ohio State wins it all. Dude, you lost to Michigan in our worst year in 5 years. So there's an asterisk next to it. Yeah. And then, there's an asterisk next to when you won yours because you cheated, blah, blah, blah. Like, I'm lucky I don't have any Ohio State fans in my life, but I see it on Twitter all the time. I don't get involved. But it would be the ultimate hilarious. Ohio State gets to the championship. They were calling for Ryan Day's head after the Michigan game. Now they'll be kind of feeling him a little bit, and it would be so funny to lose to Penn State, who can't win big games. Yeah. So they're playing good ball too, though. Their defense looks good. Their backs are great. that would be a fun one. Ohio State, Penn State would be a fun national championship, and it would be all Big Ten, so that would be cool.
Well, and it'd be a rematch, right? They played earlier.
Rematch, yep. Be another Big Ten rematch. So I don't think it was close last time, though, was it? I can pull it up right
I
here.
thought it was because they played in
20-13. It was.
Yeah,
it was. It was at
Oh,
Penn State,
we have
so
breaking baseball news. Breaking news: Justin Verlander is signing with the San Fran Giants.
Really? I'm surprised he's even playing.
1-year contract. He'll turn 42 this month.
Sorry, I gotta stop reading text. It gets me distracted. Shall we move on to NFL?
That is fine.
So Paige's picks, we did keep it going throughout the weeks we weren't here. Paige with a pretty nice comeback. It turns out we went back and looked. She wasn't that far back like we initially thought. We thought it was crazy. But she did need to beat me by 3 games on Sunday to win, and she got it done. So your final rankings are Austin at 185 and 87, which is a pretty damn good year. And then Paige 172 and 100, and myself 171 and 101. Yeah, I took a nap on Sunday. I wasn't feeling very well, and I woke up and all of a sudden Paige had beat me because we had everything the same in the afternoon slate.
I did throw out a proposition to her for next year that we'll have to keep in mind. I said to make it not more difficult, but like even the playing field for us who are bettors and her who is just picking. For each game, we should get the option to pick either one side of the spread or one side of the total. Obviously, like there'd have to be rules on you can't pick all totals because that would be a little bit easier. But then it also wouldn't create records of like 185 and 87 and stuff like that. It'd be closer to 500, and I think it would just keep the whole thing closer. So that's an option that we can keep in mind. But
last year was really close, though. I think you beat me by a game, and Paige wasn't that far off. We realized. I think I definitely had a bad year. I know, I can remember weeks where I'm like, why did I pick this team? I think I didn't put my full heart in it, but it would be fun to say, hey, we'll add, maybe 6 picks a week if you want for 3 or 4 spreads and 2 totals, maybe.
Yeah.
And then you can kind of play the game of, man, I don't like anything this week. I'm just going to pick teams. That'd be a fun little wrinkle. We can figure that out. We do? I know last year we did Paige's picks for the playoffs. Do we want to?
No, because we're not prepped for it, and I think we only did it last year as like a tiebreaker or something.
We don't need to be prepped for it. You can just make a thing, and Saturday we'll fill it out.
Sure. Well,
it doesn't really matter. You got wild card, then divisional, then all of a sudden there's 3 more games left. So I don't know. I don't know that it's worth it. I think we did it last year, and
ask her who her Super Bowl team is. I'll send her a picture of the bracket and just ask for her picks.
Okay.
She's not busy right now, so.
Excuse me. We got 1 game to preview last week because 1 game was there was a couple good games. Real quick, the Bears did beat the Packers. First time in how long?
It's been 11 straight.
11 straight, so that's almost 6 years. It was against a backup QB in a game that didn't really mean much. Well, it did mean something for a little, but the Commanders won, so it didn't matter. But Jordan Love did get hurt. Malik Willis came in, and the Bears had a triumphant victory. I know that was probably cool for Bears fans, but it sucks I can't shit on you because it didn't really hurt you at all to lose that game. It would have been funnier if Jordan Love played the full game, you guys lost, and then lost out on the 6th seed in the easier matchup.
It did hurt because I don't like losing to the Bears. Like, the Bears are probably one of the worst teams to lose to just because they are so bad, but also it's such a little brother thing that, like, it didn't matter. And, like, it's not like it affected us at all. Yeah, it's the Bears Super Bowl. Congrats.
Yep.
Whatever.
So then
your 5-12 record have an even worse pick.
Yeah, exactly. And they're out of Carolina picks. So, or do they have Carolinas this year?
I don't think
two
this
firsts,
year yet.
including last year?
Maybe it is this year. I don't think so.
Maybe it's like a second. Doesn't matter. So then the only other game, I didn't barely even watch football, but Lions Vikings Sunday Night Football, probably the craziest regular season game ever. 2 14-2 teams. Winner gets the 1 seed, loser gets the 5 seed, and no home field advantage. Crazy game to start. Before the game, Javi asked in our group chat, he's like, how nervous are you? I was like, honestly, like a 3. Like I felt good. We've been playing some good football. Monday night against the Niners last week, defense performance was trash. But when I heard Anzalone was back, I was pretty confident because I'm like, he's playing because he feels good. And I know with today's technology, there's a lot to protect that arm. And Anzalone went out there and played unfucking believable. Just the defensive performance was insane. Tight first half. Wasn't really a fan of that half offensively, especially. But the defense held the Vikings to 2 field goals while turning the ball over at the 5 and then letting them into the red zone almost every drive. Sam Darnold was seeing ghosts. The pressure was getting there every play. It felt like Sam Darnold was on his ass every time. And then second half, Jahmyr Gibbs just exploded all over everybody. 4 touchdowns. Jared Goff made some clutch throws. And then the final 31-9. It was funny at the end there when the Lions had 4th and 2. They were up 15. And they lined up to go for it. In my head, I'm like, if Dan Campbell does this, it's one of those where I'm going to bitch about it, and it might come back to bite us in the ass. Then it turns out we were just trying to draw him off sides, and we did. That's what consistency does. Do we know if he was going to call a timeout and then come back out and go for it anyways? Who knows? But we got the first, we score, and then, yeah, it was awesome game. 1 seed. 15-2 with how we looked in some of these games defensively is ridiculous. I mean, it's the best Lions team I've ever watched, and it's also one of the worst defenses. It's funny that our defense got so banged up, and it was still better than our defense that we had last year. That was kind of healthy.
Question.
Dogs were fighting outside.
I want your take on the rumors about Lions fans treating the wives and girlfriends and potentially Vikings fans like dog shit this week. Did you hear about that?
No, I actually didn't. I heard about one Vikings fan, but it was a guy I follow on Twitter, and he admittedly was like, yeah, I was being an asshole. They were giving it back, but
no, I heard some stuff
about wives and girlfriends.
Yeah, I heard about some wives and girlfriends, and apparently there was
of the players you're saying?
One, yeah.
Okay.
Apparently there was a pregnant girl. I don't know if this one was a wife or a girlfriend or not. Actually, no, it was a wife or a girlfriend. She's pregnant. Apparently somebody pushed her and she almost like fell all the way down the stairs. Like she did trip and fall, but like nothing bad. And apparently the Lions fan was like calling her a stupid bitch. And so that was like the first big one I saw. But then I've heard a ton of stuff on Twitter about like just the Lions fans treating her like shit. Or not her, but like treating Vikings fans like shit, which to a point I understand. Like it's a rivalry. It's a huge game. You chirp and chirp back, but I feel like it's gone a little
I just
far.
want you to know, I see things on Twitter too. A lot of it can be, ticky-tacky. But a quick Google search, there is no legitimate source that talks about this. I feel like if a fan did push a pregnant Minnesota Viking wife/girlfriend down the stairs, I think that would be national news. It doesn't matter if she didn't even like fall, even if it was a stumble. I think that would be national news. So I'm going to go ahead and say that one's probably fraudulent. But I do see some, like there's one from Minnesota Sports Fan. There's one from The Spun. And then this one's about Sam Darnold's girlfriend. But I have been all over Twitter. I was like,
whoa.
I have been all over Twitter and I haven't seen anything. I haven't been on Twitter yet today. So we'll see. But we can keep that updated. I'm not going to lie. I've heard some things about scummy Lions fans, but I do think that happens with every fan base. I think
I heard
it's a bad look though.
I heard some
if
Lions
it's true.
fans,
If true.
I've heard some Lions fans saying that they agree and that like the fan base has kind of become not like complete scum, but like getting shittier because the old fans aren't able to go to the games anymore, and like the new fans that are coming in are a mix of like bandwagon and like,
Well, dude, that's what it
you're
is
super
that these
hardcore like
games,
shitty people.
they were the crowd was loud for this game. However, we've had some big games this year where the legit fans like myself and like diehards weren't able to go because the prices are jacked up so high. So you're getting these people that, you know, hopped on recently because they live in Michigan, they make a shitload of money, and oh, they're the best team. Also, like, we are one of the top 2 teams in football currently based on record. There's probably some bandwagoners from out of state that have stupid crypto money that are just douchebags and they're in Lions gear. But like, it's the same thing with Twitter. I see it all over Twitter. Like, we got bandwagoners now, and it sucks, you know, because I feel like the true, and even like the actual diehards that I know personally, they're kind of a little bit annoying. I'm not going to lie. But
yeah, that brings me to my take kind of perfectly, actually.
I figured that might be a segue.
Yeah, my take is that the Lions fans give off major little brother vibes. And because I know you and I personally
I'm not
saw
going to disagree with that.
I was going to say, I know you and I personally saw it this weekend with the, what's up, cheeseheads? Fuck the cheeseheads, all that, because we lost the Bears. By the way, game did not matter. The Commanders won. They had the tiebreaker. We were in the 7th seed anyways because they won. Second off, our game did not affect them whatsoever.
I want the Tanks and Tutties fans, before you continue, sorry for interrupting, I want the Tanks and Tutties fans to note, I did not partake in the haha Packers, fuck you. I may have sent something in our personal group chat. Like,
I mean, it definitely
damn, Bears won. But I was not of the haha, fuck the Packers, because I knew, like, you didn't give a fuck. So what's the point in me talking shit?
But then my other thing is, like, don't get me wrong, I get the Kings of the North because you've won it 2 years in a row. But for Lions fans to be like, oh, like, it runs through Detroit now, like, forever. Like, you guys have won 2 division titles in, like, the last 25 years. Like, since you've been alive, you've probably seen 3, maybe 4 division titles, let alone a conference title. You don't have
wait.
The argument happened.
We don't have a conference title.
Yeah, actually,
we've never been to a Super Bowl.
The argument that happened in our group chat the other day where everybody was like bagging on the Packers, and I was like, show me your ring and I'll show you mine. Like, that, it didn't piss me off because I was like, this is such a dumb argument. But that was like the first step of like, holy shit, you guys are giving off major little brother vibes. Like, the Packers ran not just the NFC North, ran the NFC for so fucking long.
You did only get 1 ring though. So were you running?
No, that's true. That is true. But okay, that's fair.
I think we only have 2 division wins in my lifetime because I believe it was 91 was the last time before last year.
I actually saved a thing on Instagram today that came across my page just so I could show you.
What the hell is it?
So since 2005, granted, it's only 2005, and I have actually a Fox Sports thing up. Since 2005, the Lions have only won the NFC North twice. Packers have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 NFC North titles since 2005. And then conference
Give me a pause here.
Okay.
The Lions' division victory this year is the most impressive division victory in the NFC North, at least, ever.
Why is that?
Because you had the Vikings, who were 14-3. The Packers were also very fucking good. And the Bears were the Bears, so we'll take them out of it. But the Packers and Vikings were very fucking good. And I feel like every time the Packers won it, there was never 2 really fucking good teams at the same time.
Can you do me a favor and look up the 2011 NFC North standings? I actually don't know what this comes out to, but I know the Packers went 15-1 that year.
Yeah, Packers 15-1, Lions 10-6, Bears 8-8, Vikings 3-13.
Okay. Yeah, I mean,
we got you beat
the
there.
Lions definitely impressive this year, considering
the Packers lose to that year. Was that the year? The year Matt Flynn went crazy against the Lions?
Yeah, it was the year that he threw. I think it was the year he threw 6 touchdowns in the game.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't because you guys played the Bears the last week, and the Bears beat you. It was your one loss. You were 15-0. So that was probably the last time the Bears beat you. No.
But no, I just looking at the grand scheme of things. Like even if you look at the total NFC North division champions, the Lions have 5.
Oh, I'm an idiot, brother.
The Buccaneers almost have more than the fucking Lions do.
Buccaneers is a terrible argument. The Buccaneers play in the NFC South.
That's exactly my point. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers almost have as many NFC North division championships as the Lions.
Oh, back when it was the Central, is what you're saying?
The Bucs have 3. The Lions have 5. Which is
crazy. Schedule.
God
damn it. Packers. I'm struggling here.
I'll get this. 2011
schedule. I just want to see who they lost to.
So do I. I got it on Pro Football Reference.
They lost to the Chiefs December 18th. That was the Matt Flynn game, 45-41.
Yeah, he threw 6 touchdowns.
Yeah. That game I remember forever. And that game, I think we had starters playing too because we were fighting for playoffs. We made the playoffs, actually.
The score was 19-14.
We're looking at different things. We'll move on. I get your gripe with Lions fans. I do think there is one particular in your life that you apply to everybody, but also we do have bandwagoners now that are terrible.
I mean, it's not just that one fan, but because there's going on Twitter
2 in that group chat. I think.
Media.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
there's 2 in that group chat. One of them's my father, but my father I think does it to get under.
Yeah,
he only does it to get under your skin.
He tries so hard.
The other guy does it for a sick reason. There's something sick there that he enjoys out of. Yeah. I don't know. But I was more trying to celebrate. Huh?
Matt Flynn game.
Was
against Detroit.
Oh, I knew that.
On New Year's Day 2012. So it was the 2011-2012 season.
Yeah. So it's the one I was looking at, 45-41. Yep, I remember that game. But yeah, Lions looking great. We get Montgomery. We just found out today we get Montgomery back for the divisional round, which is fucking insane. We get a week of rest.
That's wild.
Very excited. Obviously, you guys are probably looking at this and you're like, man, last year I remember you being bouncing off the wall, shit talking Frankie. Job's not fucking finished now. Last year it was win 1 playoff game. We got bigger goals now, folks. Goals have heightened greatly. We'll be looking at week by week. So we're either probably going to play who are the actual chances? So you got Packers, Commanders, Vikings, or who's the 4 seed?
Rams.
Okay. So if the Rams beat the Vikings, the Packers lose to the Eagles, the Commanders lose to the Bucks, which I don't think.
If the favorites
I don't think it goes chalks.
Or if the higher seeds win,
it's the
you
Rams,
play the Rams.
Which I don't think it goes chalk.
Seeds, if the Packers win, you play the Packers. If the Packers lose and the Commanders win, you play the Commanders.
If it's the Rams, first of all, the Bucks have the Eagles' number in the playoffs, so the Eagles should be scared of the Bucks. The Bucks beat them last year. If it's the Rams, I'm not afraid. Their defense is not scary. Also, the home field is so huge because it was rocking, even with the fair weather fans. But I think the Bucks could beat the Eagles, and it could be the same path as last year: Rams, Bucks, and then it would be soupy. So, I think the AFC side is more interesting in terms of upsets. I think it goes a little bit chalk in the NFC. I think one of those teams wins. I lean Vikings, but I'm not going to sit here and say the Packers can't beat the Eagles. They almost did week 1. Or did they week 1? They did win.
No, we lost in Brazil.
No, they lost. That's right.
To the Eagles. But I'll just do a quick preview. I'm nervous.
Yeah, this is our Super Bowl preview, by the way, or not Super Bowl playoff preview starting. We're off the line.
Yeah, I'm very nervous. losing Christian Watson doesn't seem like it should be a huge deal, but it is because he was our only real deep threat that we've had, and like he was kind of starting to turn the corner before injuries started piling up, and now ACL injury. The other concern, obviously, Jordan Love. I think he's going to be fine. They said that he could have went back into the game as out of precaution. But our defense, man, like fourth down, the Bears need 10 yards to get into field goal range. And I understand you're playing outside coverage to not let them get out of bounds. But you also cannot just leave the middle of the fucking field open for a first down and for 15 yards to get them into the field goal range. Like, you have to have somebody spying or something over the middle. So a little bit concerned about that. No Jair, no Christian Watson. I think there was another injury. I can't remember it off the top of my head. I don't know. I'm very afraid that our season is going to end the exact same way it started. But also, we did what we did last year in the playoffs when everybody thought we were going to get killed by the Cowboys. And there's part of me that's like, you know what? Maybe last week was just get all the bad shit out. Like, realistically, we would have won if Jordan Love didn't get hurt, I think.
Probably.
I think this team is better than it was last year. Record-wise, we're better than we are last year. It's a little concerning that I'm less excited this year about the playoffs than I was last year. And I don't know, maybe that's just Philly. Maybe it's us. I don't know. We'll see. 4.5 feels like a lot of points, though. What is the
obviously, I think I mentioned already, if the Packers win, they play the Lions at home. And that would be amazing for this podcast. Not so great for our friendship. But it would be entertaining as fuck. And you've said for a long time now it's hard to beat a team 3 times. It is funny though, because if the Packers and Vikings both win, we play the Packers, and if the Vikings win that one, it would be Vikings Lions championship.
If we get a Packers Lions divisional round,
I can't decide if I want it or don't.
This is going to be me that week on the podcast. I'm going to just be tucked over here in the corner.
And I'm going to be standing tall, confident, But, there is a chance. I saw it today. It was broken down. Packers win, Vikings win. The Vikings would play, who would that be?
The winner of the Bucs Commanders.
Yep. And then if they win that, go to the championship, and the Lions beat the Packers, it would then be Lions-Vikings championship, and it's back-to-back, hard to beat a team 3 times. So it would be interesting. I don't know if that's ever happened in NFL history.
Brian Gutekunst, if you're listening, GM for the Packers, please just go out and get a deep threat wide receiver. Please, just somebody.
I forgot.
Sammy Watkins.
On our preseason or preview, I wrote down that I really wanted the Lions to go get Noah Brown, which he caught a Hail Mary. So might have been a good take, but we did get Tim Patrick, who's been phenomenal. Last thing before we kind of do a full-ish preview, we don't have much to say. It's more our teams because it's awesome that back-to-back years both our teams has made it. Jared Goff, sneakiest 4,600-yard season of all time?
No, not really. I mean,
I didn't even
the way that it is.
With how many points we put up, sure, and he had quite a few 400-yard games, but I'm like, Baker Mayfield had 4,500. I felt like he was slinging it. Herbert only had 3,870. Maybe he missed some games. Darnold had 4,300. That might be the sneakiest, actually. And then I think the only person with more yards than Goff was Burrow. There might be a shitter out there. Who barely missed the playoffs?
I'm pulling it up right now because I need to look at second. Yeah, Goff is second. Burrow at 4,918. Goff at 4,629. Baker at 4,500. 4,500 on the dot, too. That's impressive.
Yep.
I do need to... Go ahead.
Okay, Gibbs did finish the regular season with the most touchdowns out of anybody, rushing / receiving. So good for him in the end of it to do it.
I was going to bring up my touchdown futures parlay. It did lose.
Yep.
We came one DJ Moore touchdown short, and he had one on Sunday too. I believe it was one Keon Coleman touchdown short, and one Josh Allen rushing touchdown short of $5,800.
All doable. You just got to try again harder next year. You got to put more out there. I'm definitely putting more out next year because it's fun to sweat that throughout the year. Mine were both dead though. I had Cooper Kupp to get 10 plus receiving touchdowns in one of mine. I had one. I went 1 for 5 on receiving touchdowns. My yards one was really close, 3 out of 5. Mike Evans got hurt. I had him at 1250. And then Travis Kelce 1,000. Which how does that miss? It is what it is, though. That one was smaller. It was like 5 for 400. But I might throw out 10 of them next year, throw out 50 and hope you hit one. Like, they're not, if you do a little bit of research, they're not egregious. I mean, yours was fucking insane. I'm sure you put in research, and it wasn't at the end of the season. It ended up not that insane. We were one off on 3 guys. Yeah, I note to self, don't buy in on Rodgers next year because I had Garrett Wilson and Devontae receiving in mine.
We should probably mention that. Rodgers might be done.
I think he comes back.
He's been throwing out that might be my last game talk a lot, and
He did that last year when he got injured.
Either way, he's not going to be on the Jets next year. I can tell you that right now.
I disagree. I think the Jets might look at how he finished that year. Their offense, like, he threw the ball, you know. I think they might look at, man, if we get a guy here on defense, we get a guy here on the O-line. I feel like they're not like the coach, you know, you need a coach. Maybe the new coach thing. I got a prediction. I bet he goes to the Vikings.
Great bridge quarterback.
They don't need a quarterback. They are stuck. They're in a bad spot. Sam Darnold might have cost himself some money on Sunday night, but we'll see. I think it all hinges on how he does in the playoffs. So, quick little preview. We got some games that are stinkers. I think what we should do is predict the conference championship and then Super Bowl.
That's what I was going to say. Yep.
Hot take, not really hot take. Chargers, Texans won't be there. Steelers won't be there. Ravens are on my maybe category. I think they're in the conference championship. Broncos won't be there. I think you got Bills. I don't even know if it's possible based on seeding, so we'll just kind of wing it. But can you figure out if it's possible based on seeding or no?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to say Bills, Ravens. Somebody's beating the Chiefs this year. Is that possible or no?
So the
Bills will play Chiefs in the division.
Yeah, if the Texans
I feel like it's all possible
for the conference championship. So if the winner of the Texans Chargers, as long as the Ravens win, the Texans Chargers are both higher seeds, so they would play the Chiefs.
Okay. All right, so I got give me Bills Ravens, and then in the NFC I'm going to take Lions. Give me Lions.
Oh, wait, shit. Bills Ravens 2-3. No, not possible actually.
All right, let's just do our weekly preview, right? The games I'm not looking forward to are Chargers Texans. I think that's going to be a stinker. There's a reason it's 4:30 on Saturday. Steelers Ravens, I think.
Time out. Actually, Texans Chargers. Did you see the stat about the Texans playing at 4:30 on Saturday in the wild card round?
Yeah, like every single playoffs they've ever made.
Every single playoffs they've ever made has been their first round game has been a Saturday at 3:30. Yep.
4:30, but whatever. It actually is 3:30 for them, so never mind. You're right. Yeah. I'm wrong technically. Yeah, I think snoozer. Not really snoozer. It might be like interesting. Offenses can put up points, but Steelers Ravens definite snoozer. Steelers did their whole limp in thing again. They're gonna get killed. Bills Broncos, I think sneaky fun. I think the Broncos can compete. I think the Bills pull it out. Packers Eagles is my game of the week. I think the Packers keep it close. I wanted to take their spread, but I couldn't do it. Commanders Bucks is like a weird but could be fun. And then Vikings Rams I think is good. So that's my preview. You got anything else?
I think
Packers preview.
I think if we're looking for I think the game of the week is Bucks Commanders. Actually, I think that's going to be an absolute fucking shootout.
Could be. It could be. It is it's the highest total, so they're predicted.
But like probably the closest, most fun. I don't know if you want to say fun. Could be Packers Eagles.
Okay. Yeah, I think Packers Eagles ends up the best game at the end of it. I think Bucks and Commanders is a shootout, but somebody pulls away at the end. But I think the Packers Eagles comes down to the last 2-3 minutes. Let's do. We won't do Paige's picks. We'll just talk. I'm gonna do my who I want to play. Give me
your Super Bowl.
I want the Commanders. I think we shit on the Commanders. Their defense is probably the worst out of the NFC, right next to the Rams. I don't really want another divisional just because I've watched it so many times. I want something fresh. I don't really want the Rams or Bucks again because we've already done those.
You also don't want to have to play a team 3 times. So,
how similar is this playoffs to last year? Last year you had the Cowboys, and who was the other NFC team that was in? The Niners.
I'm checking right now.
NFC. No, that's literally it. Because the Bucks, the Rams, the Packers, the Niners had the bye last year. The Lions didn't.
Yeah, so it was.
And the Vikings are in instead.
San Fran 1, Dallas 2. So those were
Detroit
the 2
3.
teams. And then Detroit 3, Bucks 4, Eagles 5, Rams 6, Packers 7.
Look at how different last year would have been if the Eagles beat the Bucks. We would have had to go on the road. I don't know if we win that game. Anyways, okay, so I want the Commanders. I think that's the easiest win. I think you get rookie quarterback, bad defense, or the Rams. But I don't think we can get the Rams because I think they're like a 3 or 4 seed. Or they're the 4 seed because they're playing the Vikings. Duh. Super Bowl, I'm going to say Lions for sure. I'm going to finally say it. I've been avoiding it all season, but I'm not going to predict my team to lose. I'll say Lions, Bills. It's the dream matchup. Somebody finally wins a Super Bowl. The Lions can play the whole rematch card. That game was electric earlier in the year. Neutral field, defense gets some guys back. I think that game's closer for us. They have no injuries and their defense is ass. So I would love that matchup. I would feel confident. So I'm going to say Lions, Bills, Lions on top.
I want the Lions next week, obviously. And
that just means you win.
Yep. I'm going to take Packers. I'm going to stick with my Packers-Ravens. Although, if I was going to go colors, it would... Oof. Colors actually gets tough because it's red and yellow now.
What did it change to? Red and yellow?
So it could...
So, Commanders, Chiefs?
It could be
Chargers,
Vikings, Chiefs.
Bucks.
It could be Rams, Chiefs. It could be Commanders, Chiefs. It could be Packers, Chiefs. Could be Texans.
You got a lot of teams with yellow.
A lot of teams with red, too. Chiefs, Texans, Commanders, Bucks.
Broncos have red?
No.
Technically.
Bills, technically.
The horse's hair. That's orange, actually. Never mind. I take back the red.
Steelers technically have red.
Yeah.
One of their stars. They're just trying to fuck with us now. So that way they can be like, oh, colors matched up again.
Right. I think that's all we got. I'm not going to lie. I have to piss so bad or else I'm going to piss myself here. So we got to let you guys go.
I don't have anything else.
I'm going to say it. I am rooting for the Packers this weekend because I think it would be great for the podcast. I'm not necessarily afraid of your team. I feel like we've played you well. Games have been close, but with the way our defense is
that's all
right
fair
now,
statements. I'm
not going to go into that game being like, oh, no fucking way we lose, but I'm confident against that team. We've beat them twice in different ways each time. We beat them close. We beat them slow.
I would say
back. I'm really confident. I'm never going to be the guy that's going to sit here and be like, oh, Lions going all the way. I'm never going to ever say that, but this team is great. It's the best team I've ever seen in my life, so I'm confident.
I'm not confident in us this week. I think we can win, but I don't think I'll be absolutely distraught if we lose, just with the way the end of the season went. So, yeah,
I think you didn't necessarily finish bad. You just kind of had a good year. That's all it was, And like realistically, you got to picture
11-6,
10-7, right?
No, 11-6.
Oh. So you could have easily went 12-5. You lost to the Bears. Dude, I got to pee. I'm sorry.
That's fine.
No, 11-6. You're right. Yeah. Sorry. That's it, everybody. I guess go Packers. I want it for the podcast. I think it'd be really fun. I think our whole week next week would just be talking about that game and the what ifs. I think it'd be a great episode, a lot of fun. Group chats will be popping off all week. It might break up a friendship. We will see. It depends which side. I think if the Packers somehow pull it out and the Lions beat the Packers, I think the friendship would stay intact. I think if the Lions lost that one, I would take out my anger towards the Lions on you, and it would kill our friendship, I think. So, be interesting. We'll regroup next week, see where we're at, talk about some games. We do have college football playoff this week as well, so big recap coming next week. Happy to be back. This was fun. It was good to talk to you. With that said, have a great weekend. Sit some tanks, door some tutties, and go Lions, baby.
Go Packers.